And it's a very engineering focused discussion that we're going to have today. And one of the things that you often hear from engineers is they always want to rewrite. They're always unhappy with the current state of code. So we're going to dig into a few examples where this is happening, just trying to understand why was there a need to do the product overhaul, and how was it approached to manage it and make sure to minimize risk. So Limik, while you're here, I'll start with you. Can you give us an introduction to the product that you overhauled? And then afterwards, I guess, we'll touch on how you managed to control the risk.
Sure, of course. So yeah, so the product we overhauled was actually the checkout. The checkout was actually one of the most important revenue stream of the company. So basically, it is how you make the purchase, how you actually buy product at the end of the purchase flow. So like now, even in Japan, you can even use Payday at Amazon and many other merchants as well. So like I think that actually we actually had a lot of concerns, like when we actually tried to like overhaul the product, because it was too important to have anything goes wrong. Yeah, but we finally made it, have a good result.
So why did you have to overhaul it? What was wrong with the product in the first place?
Yeah, of course. So like, I think at first, it was actually, after I joined Payday for a couple of months, I started playing with this product, over and over, trying to make sure I understand the ins and out of the product. But as the more I play with it, and more I feel like, there are many like UX issues, like in the product. And also I feel like, the performance can be better, from a technical perspective. So I tried to initiate the rewrite. As you mentioned, that it's always not good enough for us to, about the code. We always want to improve everything, but there's a limit, and there's a plan we need to actually build up, to convince people. Let's do it. And also, I think another big issues was the checkout was actually written in Scala by the big engineers, where as we grow the team, we have more front engineers. We are not able to actually maintain the product effectively. So whenever we want to make changes, it usually takes like weeks to do so, and it's just not efficient enough. So that's basically why we want to overhaul the product.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like for a buy now, pay later to the checkout, it's such a fundamental element. How did you get stakeholder buy-in to do this? Or how did you manage, sorry, if I rephrase it slightly, one of the biggest risks with a rewrite is that scope will just keep exploding. So how did you keep control of the scope and keep your stakeholders happy while doing this rewrite?
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one of the concern. Like, when you try to, redo everything, there are a lot of inputs, from different stakeholders. They want to like improve everything here and there. But I think like, but I think we were actually fortunate enough that when we explained to the stakeholders where we want to minimize the risk as best as we can, they actually understood, and they actually and also explained to them, after rewrite, all the new changes will be more effectively, like be done. And they understood, and then they agreed that it will only add to the scope, when the rewrite was done. So, and also we actually like had a lot of plans. Like, for example, we want to make sure that we can roll back as easy as possible. We also make sure that we test enough. We also make sure that we have enough end-to-end test for all the devices we want to support, so forth, so on, and all those actually got the buy-ins from the stakeholders, and then finally we could do it.
Great. I think a lot of people would be hoping they had the stakeholders actually pushing back on scope, and because of the risk. That's good. Joy, can I ask you then about your product? What was it that you overhauled, and why did it need that?
So during my time with Kuiper, we have overhauled the product many times, but the latest one was driven by COVID. Basically, if in PD the core feature is the checkout, in an edtech company like ours, it's the activity feature. So when there are classes, many teachers are sending activities to their students, and that's where we had some performance issues, and it was really affecting the flow of the learning. And so in this case, it was easy to get buy-in because yeah, there was a lot of pressure from the customers. So this is so the first things that we have to do is to stabilize it first. So we did the quick fixes that could give a big impact on the value already. Like we set up, we improved some caching, set up some CDNs and such. Yeah, and there are other things that we need to dive deeper into. Like I said, we accumulated some technical debt, and unfortunately, that cannot be fixed quickly. So basically, we prioritize based on the complexity and the value that it can give.